Hi everybody, I'm Shaun Guerrero and I am here with this week's Realtor Tip. Now before I get started, I want to give you two quick disclaimers. Number one, I love music. All kinds of music. I listen to all different genres, and I'm happy to say that my kids are actually following in my footsteps when it comes to that. And number two, well, I have no poker face whatsoever, which makes for some actually really awkward moments now that I think about it. But let's go ahead and jump right into the Realtor Tip, and I'm going to set the scene for you. I'm driving along with my son, and we're listening to music. I get to choose first, so I go to my go-to playlist, which is 90s and early 2000s hip-hop and R&B. We were listening specifically to the Notorious B.I.G., one of my top 5 favorite rappers. And the reason why I loved him was because he was truly an artist. He could paint pictures in your mind with the words that he was speaking. Doesn't matter what he was talking about, you could see everything playing out in your mind. He was just really, really gifted in this way. Malachi got to choose the next song, and he chose a song by Drake, another one of our favorite artists. It's called Life is Good. Now, about midway through the song, Drake is joined by another rapper by the name of Future. And as Future's verse was going on, Malachi is dancing, and instantly he could see my dissatisfaction all over my face because I have, as I said, no poker face. So he stops and he's like, "Dad, you gotta give this guy a chance. This is music. I love this song. Like, this is great. Give Future a chance." And I'm like, "Okay, son." So we're going along. And it was at this part that I'm actually gonna play the clip for you that I paused the music. I'm in the loop with the voo. I'm in the loop with the woo. Which one you? Okay, did you catch that? This guy said he was in the loo with the woo. And when I asked my son what, who, or where was Lou and what exactly was Woo, he looked at me so confused. He had to rewind the song, listen to it a couple of times, and ended up just staring at me like I had just asked him a calculus question in Spanish. That was the look on that poor kid's face. He had no clue. And he ended up telling me, "Dad, I really just always went along with the song because it sounded cool and figured, the guy was using real words, and yeah, I have no clue, Dad." It was also famously put like this.
I don't even know what that means.
No one knows what it means, but it's provocative.
No, it's not. It
gets the people going.
Now, yes, it's a funny story. It's something I think as parents you can relate to if you have kids. However, I think it's more so applicable to our world inside of real estate and mortgages. Think about the acronyms that we use on a regular basis. Allow me to reframe it like this. Imagine you're having a conversation, an email or a text message with a client, and then you start using acronyms that we use every day in the industry but aren't common. They're not used in everyday conversation. Allow me to give you this conversation as an example. Mr. Client, I spoke with my managing broker and he recommended that along with signing the 35R, we need to contact title and confirm that we have a road maintenance agreement along with the CC&Rs because your financing may not have taken into account the HOA dues. And we want to make sure that your loan officer knows this before the financing contingency is up because we don't want to put your EMD at risk. Please DocuSign the addendums I sent over as soon as possible. Thank you. Okay, now can you see how a conversation like that may cause that same blank stare to come over your client's face when they're reading it or on the other end of the phone? It's really, really easy to do. So here's the tie down for you. Whenever we're having these conversations with our clients, we want to explain it in the simplest, easiest to understand format as possible. Just by slowing down, taking a moment, explaining to them how it affects them, what it is, and then what the commonly used acronym or name of the form is, so that throughout the transaction, if they hear it, it's a signal to say, "Oh, this means that." Just by explaining it as simply as we would to a 14-year-old, We avoid the blank stare and just go along with it because it sounds cool syndrome. In other words, I like to call it the Lou with the woo. You avoid all of that, and you're able to really just act as a professional, as a guide for your client during the home buying or selling process. So with all of that said, that's my weekly tip. I'm Shaun Guerrero, and if you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to give me a call or reach out in any way. I will talk to you guys soon, and thank you so much for tuning in to my weekly tip. Oh, and by the way, if anybody knows what it means to be in the Lou with the woo, we still haven't figured out the answer. So if you could just drop that answer in the comments if you just happen to find it, please, that'd be awesome. All right, guys, take care.